Well, life for those living in Nigeria's northeastern state of Borno has become even worse. The UN has announced it's suspending aid deliveries there following an attack on a humanitarian convoy by suspected members of Boko Haram. 2 UN workers were injured during the attack. Nearly 250,000 children in the area are suffering from severe malnutrition.
Behind me, as you see here, is a graveyard where they buried the mortality cases. Most of the cases died because of hunger and lack of water, and then followed by lack of medicine.
The UN estimates more than 9 million people in the region need humanitarian assistance in areas attacked by Boko Haram. Well, for more on this, we are joined now by Fidelis Mba. Fidelis, great to have you with us. This news, I mean, we know how brutal Boko Haram can be, but this is just the lowest of the low, this act.
Well, the thing is, for some time now, the issue about the humanitarian crisis in that axis has been underreported by the media, because you don't have access to some of these areas, even though government has been coming out to say everything is fine. But then there are cases of people dying. Some aid agencies like Medicine Sans Frontiers have come out to say, look, there's a need to actually ensure that people get food aid, because children, there are so many of them who are dying of malnutrition, like they pointed out in that report. So now that UN is temporarily suspending aid, it's actually going to get really serious, because that has been the only source of any form of help for people who have been displaced, because you have people displaced across Nigeria, Niger Republic, Chad, and Cameroon, because it's not just Nigeria. And out of this, about 7 million are people who were displaced from, around the Nigerian axis. So now that aid is not getting across to them, things might actually get worse. Now they're saying about 250,000 children are severely malnourished. It might get worse.
Have they considered airdrops, or that's just not a possibility then?
It's so risky considering airdrop, because Boko Haram is so sophisticated. They've got helicopter gunships. They've got all sorts of ammunitions to bring down aircrafts. Even for the Nigerian soldiers, for the Nigerian Air Force as well, flying over these areas, they're very cautious. So, if you want to do any form of airdrop, they might bring down the plane. It's more dangerous. I don't think the UN might want to consider that now.
And as you say, Boko Haram is becoming more and more sophisticated, and yet the Nigerian government says that they are winning the battle against Boko Haram. Make sense of that, if you will.
Yeah, I think it's more of they're more of propaganda now, because they've actually more so to speak, bullied the media, the local media, out of the whole thing. Because before now, the local media were the forefront of bringing out, the issues, reporting about the killings, but recently the media have been more blackmailed out of it. They've stopped some of them. They say, for you to be able to report anything about the Boko Haram, now you seek clearance from the military before you can file your report, which is why some of the local journalists have, refrained from reporting some of the issues. But then, to some extent, credits to the Nigerian government and some of the other governments like Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. They've restricted Boko Haram to just more sometimes occasional attacks. The issues of suicide bombings, the issue of coming out to just open fire in crowded areas is no longer happening. But then just about a week ago, a detachment of Nigerian soldiers, an unspecified number of them, went missing, though the Nigerian military later came out to say that they were back after 48 hours, even though no one can independently verify that. So it's a case of people not really getting proper information about what's going on. There's so much going on which is actually not out there in the media.
And very confusing. Fidelis Mba, thank you so much for clarifying that. Appreciate you.